Welcome to Dave's Had Enough Show, episode 58. I think everything is working right. How's it going, Grimpachi?
Not much, Dave. Ready to have a good cast.
Yeah, at least it's working finally now. We got everything going. How's it going, One Piece fanboy?
Playing some NBA 2K16.
Alright, and glad to have you, both of you guys. How's it going, Old Dirty?
Everything's going good. I'm also playing some 2K16, and I'm getting sick of Metal Gear.
Yep, I was there too. How's it going, Levon?
Thank you for having me, Dave, and I'm ready to have some fun on this cast. Some real good fun.
Alright, we got everybody. And Ozzy, I sent you an invite. A lot of people are having issues getting into the podcast tonight, so I don't know if it's going to go through right away. I did send it. I'll send you another one if you don't get in now. Maybe it takes 7 times to send an invitation to get in, because some people have issues getting in, so we'll try to get you in here. Just keep looking for your invitation if you don't find it right now. Pretty much we're going to start this podcast off. We'll save the main topic for the end. What I want to talk about, I guess, first is like these games getting delayed. You know, last week we talked about Star Fox Zero and Persona 5 getting delayed. Now you got Hitman being delayed until March. But the problem with this now is in March you got Hitman, you got Street Fighter 5, you got Uncharted 4, and you got The Division, and I'm sure there's other ones. This is not coming to the top of my head. Do you think, anybody can answer this first, do you guys think that they're going to actually release all them games I just named in that month, or they're going to push them back even far? Or one of them will get released?
Some of the games back.
Levon.
They might push some of the games back. I mean, they just might. Uncharted 4, you really think is going to come out in March? I don't think so.
I could see it coming out in March, but not with those other big games, too. You got The Division, which is a new IP that I couldn't see them releasing next to Uncharted or even Street Fighter. It's just kind of weird to do that to the game. You know, you want to at least give it release it when there's nothing coming out so it has a good chance of doing good. I don't see Street Fighter 5 and Uncharted 4 being released in the same month because they're both exclusive to the PS4. Yes, you can get Street Fighter on the PC, but it is a console exclusive, not on the Xbox One. So 2 exclusives on the PS4 that are big releasing at the same time. Even though they're different, a fighting game and a third-person shooter, I still don't see it. What do you think, King Grimpachi?
Definitely I see delays potentially happening even more. I honestly think The Division will probably never come out, because haven't we been seeing The Division?
I don't think it is.
We've been seeing The Division for forever.
Oh, come on, you really?
I don't ever have any hopes for The Division, to be honest with you. That's in the wind at this point.
I'm kind of with you on that, because I think that's been delayed for what, a year or two?
I could have sworn we've seen that game since like the generation started, even prior before that.
Yeah, they've been talking about that game for a long time. I mean, it's just it's like they were kind of nervous about releasing it, maybe because, we had Watch Dogs that they did make a lot of money off of it, but it got a lot of backlash, maybe, and just in general, how, new IPs do. They don't do good. Some do good, sales-wise, but when it comes to actual reviews, they don't do good, a lot of them. So maybe they're wanting that game just perfect because it is an online-based game, online multiplayer co-op, and they don't want it all fucked up and broken. But, I mean, that's a long wait. Come on, it shouldn't take this long. It seems like 2 years at least. Could be wrong with that. I know it's at least a fucking year. But what do you think, Old Dirty, on that one?
Yes, I think Uncharted 4 may be delayed at least maybe 2 months or something like that. But then again, I want to say it probably will, because you got to think about it. We're going to have at least 2 months, 2.5 months of no games. From December 1st all the way to March, whoever comes out first in March. So that's 2.5 months right there, almost 2.5 months of really no titles because we just getting over the holidays. So I mean, everything could come out in March. You know what I'm saying? Maybe like a week apart because what you say, Uncharted 4, Street Fighter 5, and
You got Uncharted 4, Street Fighter 5, The Division, and you got, what was the other one? Hitman coming out. I mean, that's a lot of that's not little games we're talking about either. That's what I'm trying to make. I can understand if it was these games weren't that big. We're talking about like Uncharted, 4 and Street Fighter 5. Those are big games. And then you got The Division. It's a highly anticipated IP by a lot of people. Some people lost a little steam with it, waiting on the damn thing so long. But it is a big, it is a game that has been hyped up for a while now. And I know a lot of people's expectations are really high on that game. Not everybody, but most. So I just don't see all these games, being released in March. And I mean, that's just my opinion. I wouldn't be surprised if they push Uncharted back. I could see Division actually getting released, but I could see Uncharted getting pushed back possibly. But I don't know. What do you think, One Piece fanboy?
I love delays. What's the point of releasing a broken game? I don't think Uncharted 4 is going to get pushed back. They announced collector's editions and stuff. You have a beta coming out. The game's going to come out March. It's Sony's biggest franchise right now. The Division, I kind of just lost steam and I really don't care. And I think Street Fighter might come out the same month as Uncharted, because Bloodborne and The Order are supposed to come out the same month. So it shows that Sony really doesn't care about stuff like that. Okay.
Maybe Ubisoft might switch their thing around and delay The Division again. I mean, I just couldn't see them doing that though, because The Division has been delayed so many times.
That bit.
Did everybody on that topic? Lavon, you said your thoughts on that one, right?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Next topic. What do you guys think about Phil Spencer? Two things I want to talk on him. First thing, he pretty much did a thing where he predicted the PS4 to do a price drop. What do you think his reasons was behind that? Mine, I think some people said also they said that he did it because to hurt the PS4 sales. I could see that in a way, because if he is a big name dude and people say, oh, there's going to be a price drop with the PS4, so that would make them think to wait for the holiday, and the sales right now would kind of not do so well, and he can get some steam for the Xbox. I could see that. It makes sense. What's your thoughts, Old Dirty?
You say he predicted that it was what?
He pretty much came out and said that, I guess he came out recently and said something predicting a price drop for the PS4. That there's going to be a price drop this holiday.
Oh, okay. I mean, I heard the rumor. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he heard the rumor. Maybe he did predict it. I guess he's looking at it as, I don't think a way to hurt Sony, but I guess he's looking at it in a way, Sony to keep that momentum going. I don't know the exact sale numbers now of the PlayStation and the Xbox, but I'm sure the Xbox got to be, right behind the PS4 sales. I mean, he probably did predict it, they're gonna do a price drop for this holiday season, because I'm pretty sure Microsoft got something up their sleeve for this holiday season. But he know that Sony have to keep that momentum going, because look how well it's selling, So he figured, what can they do this holiday season with no exclusives coming out?
Yeah, it says Xbox boss Phil Spencer has predicted that Sony will announce a wider price cut for the PlayStation 4 next month, shortly after they announced a price cut, for the Japan Tokyo Game Show in mid-September. So that's what he's predicting. What's his, what do you think his reasons are behind that? You think maybe, so you don't think he has no bad intentions with that, or?
No, I don't think he got any bad intentions behind it. I think he knows that, coming this holiday season, the Xbox One has a few exclusives up their sleeve, and Sony doesn't. Like, Sony don't have anything coming out but bundle third-party games. But those same games come on the Xbox One. So, I mean, if you're strategizing to do something this holiday season and your competition is, the only thing you can think of what they could do to keep the momentum going for the holiday season to the end of the year is a price drop. That's how I look at it.
But see, the problem with that's like saying, let's go back with the Wii U when the Wii U came out and it had Assassin's Creed 3. I could say, oh, well, the Wii U's got that game coming, but people aren't looking for it on the Wii U, and they're looking for it on the PS4. That's what I'm saying. It's kind of like multi-plats for some reason are not selling, not all, but most. Like Grand Theft Auto 5, it's like selling double on the PS4, and of course probably because the install base is pretty much double or triple. And maybe that some people you follow what I'm saying on that?
Yeah.
I mean, I know a lot of people don't want to admit it, but the PS4, the multi-plats are selling like gangbusters. They just are. I don't know. I get what you're saying, Old Dirty. I'm with you on it. I understand the games look. Everybody, some people don't see a difference in the games, but then you got a lot of dudes that do see a difference and think it's a better performing game. I mean, and that's,
you know what, Dave, and to say that, I mean, I can't judge, everybody's eyes. Everybody has their own vision of what they see, but I really think it's just playing into people's heads because that the PS4 is the stronger console, so it plays in your mind that, oh yeah, I do see a slight difference when it comes to comparing the two. You will have that your mind will play that on you because that the PlayStation 4 is the strongest. You know what I'm saying? So it's like if you see two games side by side, of course your mind is going to play tricks with you because if you know which one is PlayStation 4, which one is Xbox One, you're going to say, yeah, I do see a difference, and you probably really don't.
It's just like Coke and Pepsi.
Yeah. See, I don't see a big difference. Like certain games, I do see a little bit of a difference. But with 2K, I was looking at that, and I looked at the PS4 version, on YouTube. It didn't look much different, and the game looks great. Like I think One Piece fanboy was like, "Why'd you buy it on the Xbox One?" Well, I bought it because Old Dirty got it, and some other people I know got it, and they want to play. I didn't really know too many people on the PS4 that was talking about that, But to me, on that game, there's not much of a difference. I don't see it, But in some people's eyes, they do see a difference, And they do their little test on Digital Foundry at times. They show this one runs better on this. One thing I noticed with Digital Foundry, the frame drops sometimes are. I'm not a big tech guy, but it shows how the frame rate is better on cutscenes on the Xbox One, but when it goes into actual gameplay, the frame rates drop in the game. Did you guys ever see that on some of the comparisons in the past? Do you know what I'm talking about, or
yeah?
Oh, okay. I noticed that like the cutscenes run better on frame rate, but when it goes into actual gameplay, you may see the PS4 running better. You know what I'm saying? Kind of weird. So it shows there ain't much of a difference, But in some people's eyes, it's like last generation. People thought, that the Xbox 360 had better third-party games, and Microsoft had that ball in their court. Now Sony has that ball in their court, and people are up in arms about, people think with Sony, oh well, why is this? But it was the same thing last generation. Xbox had that, But there was cases like Skyrim. With the PS3 version, it ran like fucking dog shit, and then you look at it on the Xbox One, and it ran fine. It didn't run the best, because there was a lot of problems with that game, but it ran a lot better, you know. So I think this generation, you've got a lot of people that just, you know, it's one of them things where people say, oh, that console's better, and it's just like anything in the world where they think something's better than the other thing, just because of here's, you know, this person says that, and it's, you know, basically what it comes down to.
But when you think about it, if you think about this generation and last generation, nobody was harping about the power of the 360. We all know the PS3 was more powerful. So it's like
this. Yeah.
Yeah, well, they were mostly just like everybody knew like the PS3 was more powerful, but I think the issue was that the power that it had, developers didn't want to learn how to utilize it. So that's why 360 games came out looking better and playing better. But to answer the the whole thing about the price drop, I kind of told you this before we started the podcast, Dave, is that I saw a report saying that next week Microsoft is going to announce a price drop for Xbox One, and the Xbox One is already $350. So if they drop the price just for the holiday to like $300, $250, you know, Phil Spencer saying he's predicting Sony's going to drop the price. Well, if this price drop for Xbox One is true, then yeah, that would make sense for him to predict that Sony would drop the price, because, like the old dirty said, they don't really have any big titles coming out this holiday season. Their big titles aren't really even games, I would say, for everybody. Like Bloodborne came out this year. That's not really something everybody would play. Until Dawn, you know, not saying those games aren't good. They're just not those games that everybody gravitates towards. So if the Xbox One drops to $250, maybe even $200, Sony may feel pressured to drop their price as well. Especially seeing as if you could get an Xbox One for $250, pick up Halo 5 and pick up Tomb Raider and pick up Gears of War and pick up that they probably would drop the price.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's the best way for them to do the competition. You know, to not have much. Is that now? Who's Sam Frencher? Or how's it going, man? You there?
Yes. How are you?
Oh God, really?
How you doing?
There you go. I had a feeling it was somebody.
What's that? Grandfather?
No, it's somebody a long time ago. It's coming to see you later.
Oh, I remember.
Yeah, it's either Lawrence. Now that's the true Lawrence, everybody. It is a One Piece fanboy. There's either Lawrence or somebody else, I'm thinking. But he's done that long time ago. He act like Grandpa. But yeah, going back to what we were talking. So this whole, what's your take on it, Levon? Phil Spencer predicting a price drop. What's your thought?
I mean, it could be true just for the holidays. Like, it could do a price drop to $350 or $300, maybe.
300 or 250. King Rapachi said. I couldn't see them going.
I'm talking about for the PS4.
No. Well, that. Oh yeah, he was talking about the Xbox One. The PS4, the predicted price is gonna be $299.
300.
Yeah, Hip Hop Gamer came out with it first. Now you got Phil Spencer saying it.
Then yeah, that might be true, because with like King Rapachi said, there are some new Xbox rooms supposed to be announced next week. Is that what you said?
Yeah, no, they said something about a price drop for the Xbox One. It's supposed to be announced next week.
Okay. So yeah, that might happen. It might happen, potentially happen.
Okay. What's your thoughts, One Piece fanboy, on this whole thing?
I don't think PlayStation needs a price drop. I had a friend of mine just sell his Xbox to get a PlayStation. PlayStation's still selling like hotcakes. It's funny because like people talk about Sony only has niche games and stuff, but like these niche games started adding up because a lot of friends of mine on Xbox, they want to play MLB. They can't get a baseball game. They want to play a JRPG here or there. So these niche games from a lot of different fan bases start adding up and create sales where Xbox only has, really, let's be honest, one type of fan base. That's the Dude Bro Gears of War type of fan base. Not saying that's bad, but that is what it is. So I think about the price drop. I mean, maybe if Xbox does like a crazy sell, but I doubt it.
You do make a good point there. Last night I was playing Rainbow Six Siege, the beta, on Xbox One. one thing I always noticed about Xbox, and this is like last night was the first time in a while, besides the Gears of War Ultimate when I played that, I noticed how people are so competitive online in Microsoft with Xbox One or Xbox 360 or the original Xbox. Like Xbox has always been that online first-person shooter, type feel. Like all the people like to play that on the Xbox. That's like its thing. When it comes to Sony, and I got in a discussion with this dude that I met playing the game, playing Rainbow Six. We're actually in a party chat, not a party chat, but like an in-game chat talking. He said he's like PlayStation has always been that single-player, very antisocial bunch that like to play JRPGs or single-player exclusives and stuff like, you know what I'm saying, like that. And Microsoft has always been the online dude bro, first-person shooter, third-person shooter. It's always been like that, so I could see its fan base. And, say Microsoft did get JRPGs, I don't think they would sell well on Microsoft.
The 360 died and it flopped.
Huh?
Well, of course they wouldn't sell well.
Because it's not the fan base that wants that. They want like 2K. They want the dude bro games. I know a lot of people hate hearing that, but it's right. It's what One Piece fanboy said. It's exactly right. But I'll say one thing with Xbox. To me, that crowd has always been like really competitive online. You get in a match with them, and you get in a room and in-game chat, people all talking. They're talking. It's like they're all focused on the game. They're serious about it. Sony has always been that console where you go online and nobody's really talking. Now they're talking in party chats, but when you go in game, like actual in-game, chats for the, talking trash and shit, not many people are like really. You'll see a lot of people not with any mics or anything, and now the party chat has made it worse, and that affected Xbox too when they got party chat, but there's still a big crowd that is competitive in the Xbox when it comes to online multiplayer first-person shooters and stuff. But, yeah, I do agree with One Piece fanboy on that. Another thing Phil Spencer said, I guess he's tired of the console war. He says it's distasteful. What do you think his reasons was behind that, One Piece fanboy?
His reasons, people like Next Gen, Blackie Lebowski, Crap Gamer, Mooch, a bunch of grown men sitting behind their laptop or computer, just making constant videos about Sony that they claim to be pro-Microsoft. And they do no gaming, they just hate on Sony. And they're begging him for interviews, probably sees their channels and goes, what a bunch of losers.
Do you think Phil Spencer would ever come on Next Gen, the Big Gamer Small Talk?
Why would Phil Spencer go on the ex-convicts YouTube channel?
I mean, it might look pretty good for business.
Business. A channel that has what, 8,000 subscribers?
Well, in their minds, I think what it is, a lot of people in this community, one thing I noticed, they get a couple thousand subscribers, even a couple hundred, their heads just start getting real big. And they think that there's this dude with 100,000, or like we see some of these dudes with 3,000 subscribers acting like that they got 1 million. They're like they've left the crumb side, they say. And they are the crumb side. That's
one stop for gamers.
They make the crumb side. They are the crumb in the crumb side. And they're not leaving. They made this place, and I'm not like upset to be in the crumb side. I actually kind of enjoy it. It's I find it fun sometimes.
Okay.
But it just people's heads are just so big in this community. It's just like I could never see Phil Spencer, and he really took it to heart when I guess they got a tweet back from one of them dudes. I don't know all the main dudes at Microsoft, Aaron Greenberg, or I guess they talked to all these dudes on Twitter. Like, I never did the whole Twitter thing. I have a Twitter, but just made it just to see what it was. I never really used it. And these dudes contact people on Twitter. They have people contacting them on Twitter, like their subscribers, and they think they're this big shit on YouTube. And in reality, they're not. You could tell a dude off the street. You can ask them who, Johnny Depp is, and then you go, hey, do you know who Zaire is? And they're like, what the fuck are you talking about? But you go ask them that question, they got people flagging them down in the streets. Like Broken Game says, he has people come up to him all the time in the street and talk to him. Same thing with Zaire. They're celebrities.
Do you really
they're the
believe
next
that?
Kim Kardashian. Huh?
Do you really believe that?
Do I believe it, or does he really believe it? I think they really believe it. I don't believe it.
You really think a guy like Broken Games is getting like, oh my god, I see you on YouTube? Come on.
No. I don't see that at all, man.
Well, these guys are making T-shirts now. Like, what would it look like if I started making T-shirts? Dave's HadeNuFF show. Like, what would that look like? Come on. Like, they actually think there's something, and it's funny. It's hilarious to watch. So when Phil Spencer came out with this comment that shit's distasteful, Next Gen went and addressed it. Because a lot of people are attacking Next Gen, saying that, like you just mentioned, that, Phil Spencer, is tired of people like that. Like Next Gen 720, Crap Gamer, Showstopper, all them people. What's your thoughts, King Grimpachi, on Phil Spencer kind of tired of the console war? Do you think he's really tired of the console war? And also, what's your thoughts on the community? How this affected the community a little bit with this going on next gen 720?
I mean, I don't know if he's necessarily tired of the console war. Maybe how it is now, because this console war is good for business. Let's be real. It brings in money. And, he could be tired of it. I'm going to give you the full circle, right? First of all, Microsoft is not that popular in the public eye right now, even Xbox. Sony is always taking shots. Microsoft really isn't doing that. So maybe Phil is like, this is kind of stupid, because his statement it's not about, for some people, it's not about their console being good and them just liking the device they purchased. It's more about them hating the competition and disliking the competition. And to be honest, you see that a lot in this community. We've seen developers get death threats and shit over exclusives and all this dumb crap. So is Phil tired of the stupidity? I'm pretty sure he is, just like I'm tired of it, just like any other person is tired of gamers being put in a bad light because we got these few rotten eggs that probably may not even be real gamers. They just see this as an opportunity to be assholes. So yeah, I can see it, but I mean, is he talking about anybody from this community? I 100% doubt that. I 100% even doubt he knows anybody from this community. It would be shocking if he knew any of these people. I mean, he probably knows Hip Hop Gamer, but I mean, that's a little bit different. But
yeah,
I don't think Phil was talking about. And I saw his Next Gen video, and I think he was addressing more people were saying, "Yo, they're talking about guys like you." And to be perfectly honest with him, I don't see why people take him seriously. And I'm not saying that in a negative light. When the guy says it pretty much often, that he says things to piss people off, meaning like basically he's a troll. It's like getting mad at RXL. RXL is fucking with you. I mean, obviously, I'm pretty sure it could be annoying, but then you just stop watching. I don't know why people take half these people so serious. Now, if you're trying to put out information, you're trying to be legit, and you're trying to like not be a jokester, you're trying to be serious, but yet you're doing a bunch of fuckery, then I can see why someone would be upset with you then. But if you're joking around, hey, look, it is what it is. You're just joking around. That doesn't really bother me. And if Phil, like I said, if Phil watched the community and he watched these people, then he should know that certain people in the community fuck around like that. But like I said, I don't think he watches this shit at all.
What, Old Dirty, what's your thoughts on this whole thing with Phil Spencer kind of just tired of the console war? And what's your thoughts of the, console war, too? Are you kind of tired of it yourself, too?
And I've been tired of the console war. I mean, I'm an old school. I mean, I'm older than you cats that's in here. So, me, you know what I'm saying, I respect, the console. You know what I'm saying? If I want the console, I'm going to get it. If I don't want it, I have no reason to talk about it. I don't know the system, never played it, so why should I talk about a console or anything that I never played or intend of, of playing? I just don't understand with these, with these guys on YouTube with all this. And I'm pretty sure Phil, Spencer done seen some tweets here and there. He probably done seen some videos. Somebody probably brought some videos to him. I'm pretty sure, you know, Phil and some of these guys, third parties, they see what's going on in the community. I'm pretty sure they done seen a couple of videos here and there on YouTube of, some of these guys that just act the ass, over a certain console.
Well, can you post, like with Twitter, can you post a video like you can on like YouTube in a comment section? Like, can you just tag, just copy it and post it, like in the comments?
Yeah, I think you can put a link. You can put a link to it, and
yeah. So these guys are definitely sending their videos out. I mean, at least, I mean, I would say so. I mean, I wouldn't put it past
it to certain people, but it only has like Twitter has like a character limit. I think it's like up to 120, 130, somewhere around there. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so they gotta be putting their shit out there. I could see it. I mean, I could see some of these people looking at certain people in the community. They might have their people looking at stuff, like see what gamers want, but I don't really think Phil Spencer. I mean, one thing people don't understand about the gaming community, if you were loaded with money, would you really be hanging out in this? I mean, I'm just being honest. Would you be sitting here with us in the chat if you were, balling like Phil Spencer? Would you even care about this shit, really? Like, think about it. Like, Phil Spencer, yeah, he worries about when he goes and talks in front of the public, but does he really give a shit about this? Like, where he's checking YouTube videos? I can see some of their dudes, maybe, and maybe he did glance once or twice, but when you get money, you don't give a shit about some stuff like this. This is for people that are like, like me at least. I'm fucking bored out of my mind sometimes. And I just want to sit here and talk about games. But when you got a lot of shit to do, you ain't gonna be on fucking YouTube. Let's just be real. I'm just saying. Can you agree with that, Old Dirty, or no? Or
I mean, I can see it to the extent that, he might not see videos, or he probably not. But I'm pretty sure he hear things. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing. You might not see it, you know what I'm saying, but you could definitely hear stories about certain things from other people. And just hearing it, you could be like, kind of be like, damn, like really, like that's what's really going on in the gaming world. You know what I'm saying? And if you hear it enough, yeah, I guess you would get, disgusted with it. Like, and you figure in your mind, like, why are these people doing it? Like, why? What's the draw behind it? You know what I'm saying? Tell me why you don't like Sony and give me a good reason. Don't just give me some bullshit ass reason.
Well, do you think that all these people that are, like, look at our community, the Crumb side. Do you think the mass audience is like this, where they're talking about consoles and stuff? Do you think this shit has gotten so big it's beyond the Crumb side and every, like other than YouTube? Is it like everywhere now? Is that why he's talking on it? Do you think this is like a big problem, or just still like just the community?
I done talked to a few people that's that's not on YouTube, don't know anything about the game community on YouTube, nothing about a console war, and if I bring up the console war, they be like, console war, like what the hell is you talking about? I'm like, oh yeah, this thing between Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft. If you're a Microsoft fan, you don't like you don't like Sony, you don't like Nintendo. You bash the console, you talk bad about it. You never played it, but you talk bad about it. What you hate about it, and they be like, really? Like, if you don't like the console, then don't buy it, don't talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, these people that I talk to, they have a preference. It's like, oh, I play on Sony, and I'm like, what about the Xbox? I really never played the Xbox that much. You know what I'm saying? I'm just used to, Sony, because I've been playing it since whatever, PlayStation 1 or PlayStation 2, so that's what I really know. Or some people be like, oh yeah, I know Nintendo and Sony, so I usually grab those two consoles. But if, like, what about, Microsoft? I played it a couple of times at, a friend's or a family house. It's a pretty cool system, but I'm just used to these two consoles. And that's it. They don't go bash. You talking about this dog shit. The controller is stupid. And it's you would not hear that outside of YouTube. It's just when they don't have nothing good to say about the console, They just be like, oh no, I'm not really into it. You know, my preference is Nintendo, or you know, my preference is Microsoft. I really never got into Sony like that. You know,
You don't really hear that at all, like in the outside world, because I'm gonna let people know something that they don't want to admit. Although gaming has become more popular, you know, and a lot more people gaming is still considered lame. Let's not pretend. It's like people don't even really like want to talk out loud about games. Not saying that's a bad thing, a good thing, or whatever. But let's say I do feel that some people deep down, how they act on the internet is how they really feel, but they're not gonna do that in person. Like you're not gonna like go into a store, walk up to
Because they have
somebody.
home
You know, no
training.
one's gonna walk up to you unless they're just crazy and be like, "Oh, you're buying an Xbox game? That's dog shit." The only time I ever was about to pick up a game, the
Where
God.
did you kick me out? Where the hell did you kick me out? Dave, come on! What the hell's wrong with you?
You can stay if you want, but you gotta be normal.
Okay, I'll try. I'll be good. I promise.
I told you
Play
I'm
my
not wrong.
harmonica.
the
Got a
the
jam on
only
the harp. Whenever you got
Yo.
time, I'll just sit here and play a little hand jibe, you know.
Not healthy getting in.
The only time like you'll catch someone like the only time it ever happened to me where someone was trying to persuade me not to buy something is like when you're in a store and you're like picking up something that you know maybe is known to be like dog shit or something. Like the only time I've ever been to a store and I picked up something everybody just said it was kind of fun. I was in GameStop. I picked up Zombie U and like 3 dudes said no. No.
Well, that's the Wii, because it's the Wii U. I've seen it at stores. Like, people look at you funny, like, exactly like how you said. When I got my pre-order of Splinter Cell Blacklist, there was only one in a 3-mile, like the 3 other GameStops in the town. Like, you couldn't get it nowhere else. There was just my copy that was there, and it was open. That's why I was trying to get another one. That's how I found out I was the only one that ordered that fucking copy in 3 cities. That's crazy. And they're looking at me like I'm fucking nuts buying it. I'm like, even thinking in my head, I'm like, should I be buying this? Should I get it on the PS3? And you know what? I had issues with the online. Should I got on the PS3? But I just was trying to help the Wii U out.
Yeah, like I mean that like this whole console war thing and like a lot of this stuff is just the internet. People in the real life, you go to like gaming conventions and stuff like that, you don't catch people acting all crazy like, you know, doing it. Like you have people that have actual debates and it's more than likely civil. Like these crazy like, oh your system is dog shit, or I don't like this platform because of this reason. Half the people if you ask them on the internet, hey, why don't you like Sony and Microsoft? It's always some generic bullshit. Oh, you know, Microsoft, I just don't like their policies. Well, what are Microsoft's policies? Because I don't know them. Well, you know, that's all they really said. They just say, you know, in the discussion.
And plus, they have home training.
exactly what I said, Grim. They cannot give you a legitimate answer of why you hate Sony or why you hate Nintendo. It's like it's always something that just like that just blow right over your head. You just look at them like, really, like whatever. Oh man, I don't like how the triggers feel.
So you hate a company because of the triggers?
No, but you know, around the time when Gears of War 1 came out, I really liked the Xbox. I was into the Xbox 360 more than I was in the PS3. And my buddy, he always played PlayStation and stuck with PlayStation. Like I got PlayStation day one, but around the PS2 era, that's when I was on the original Xbox. But I had a PS2. He always stuck with PlayStation. So around that time, I was more of an Xbox fan because I liked Gears of War. He liked Resistance Fall of Man. And he'd sit there argue with me back and forth. And he didn't do YouTube and all this shit. I didn't even know what YouTube was at that time, but he was arguing about it. You know, it's just some people, if they start out with a console, you know, or whatever they start using, that's what they stick with. Same thing with Apple and Android. There's people that argue about that shit, you know. And I mean, that don't just all go on YouTube, but there is a majority of the world that, you know, just plays Call of Duty and they like just Call of Duty. You know, they don't go beyond Call of Duty or games like Assassin's Creed. But there is a console war outside of YouTube, but I don't think it's as big as it is on YouTube with everybody. I don't think they go that deep with it where like attacking families, wanting to kill your grandmother or fuck your grandmother, all that stuff. That don't go that deep,
Or go to
People
Best Buy and stock
and
you.
that going and persuading people to buy an Xbox One. Now remember when the Xbox One came out, and there was representatives at Best Buy persuading people to buy an Xbox One. I don't know if you guys remember that. Actual representatives from Microsoft talking people to get the Xbox One. That was going on.
I mean, I don't really see nothing wrong with someone trying to persuade you to buy something, even if they don't work for that company or not. Because, I mean, like I said, if you're into something, you're into something. It's been plenty of times I'll be at a GameStop or a Walmart or whatever, and it'd be like a guy or a kid. I hear him talking like, "Man, what is I don't know what type of game to get my son," and I may suggest something. That I don't work for that store, but I just hear him saying something, so I may make conversation. That's not. I don't find that to be an issue. Now, if you're purposely, like you said, I'm gonna get up today, go to a random store, and just convince people to buy consoles, then all right, that's a little creepy. But if you're just there and it just works out that way, then I don't find that to be an issue.
Now, bringing up what you talked about with the whole geek thing, people are still geeks. I see a little bit different on that. I think nowadays, my ex-girlfriend that I was with for a long time, she liked Call of Duty, and I think if anything got gaming accepted by people that didn't used to accept it, was Call of Duty. Call of Duty brought a whole new audience into gaming. You got girls that play Call of Duty, and it made it open up for other games. I think Call of Duties would change that.
Well, I mean, gaming as a whole. What I'm saying is, gaming as a whole is considered what they'll say is it's lame. There are certain.
Not as much. Not like it used to be. Not as bad. You wouldn't even talk about gaming to a certain group of people. You wouldn't be in a room and bring it up at a party or something. You'd look like a nerd.
I mean, well, it just depends, because there were certain games that everybody just played. You could say, "Oh man, I played some Pac-Man." Pac-Man is like back in the day, that was Pac-Man, Galaga. You played Mario. Those games that everybody played, yeah. It's no different than today. Everybody plays Call of Duty. Even people that's not even into gaming, they'll just buy a system to play Call of Duty. You talk about Madden. There are certain games there have always been games where everybody, if they were gamer or not, they knew who these games and what these games were. But I'm saying gaming still hasn't really. It's gotten a little bit more out there where more people game, but it's still considered if you go to somebody and say, "Oh, I'm playing Kingdom Hearts," what? What's that? And then you tell them what it is, and Disney and who, what, Square, what, who? They're not gonna know what the hell you're talking about. And then when you explain it to them, they're gonna be like, "That sounds weird."
World of Warcraft, I could see being really nerdy. I know a lot of people that play that would never really tell many people. They were always deeply into that game. I had a friend that played that game hours on end, and he wouldn't tell nobody. That's what he did most of his life, was play World of Warcraft. He went to work, got home, played World of Warcraft. And his girlfriend would always bitch about it. Just oh, he's just being a little nerd in the fucking bedroom playing that. But I mean, I don't know. I think Call of Duty made it kind of acceptable for gaming. It did help gaming in that sense, but kind of Call of Duty, and I want to kind of talk about this with Call of Duty. Do you think Call of Duty ruined gaming or helped gaming? What's your thoughts, Old Dirty?
I don't think it necessarily.
And what I'm meaning with this, look at all the games that are trying to imitate Call of Duty. If we didn't have Call of Duty, would we have all these first-person shooters trying to be Call of Duty? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you're saying now. I mean, sometimes I think that, Call of Duty, I wouldn't put the whole blame on Call of Duty. I put the blame on developers, because they don't want to, experiment on anything like they used to. They don't want to put they ideas on the table and what, this is what I came up with. Let's, put this together. This could be a cool game, good game, put it out. It's no, it's they know what most gamers want, and it's, first person shooter, run and gun. And they see that it sells so well that they start to take some of the regular old franchises and try to do the same exact thing with that. And I'm like, what the hell is you doing? Like this is what gaming is turning into. This is what developers see. They see dollar signs and they like, yep, they'll buy it. Put a gun in the hand, let them run. They'll buy it, and this is what's happening.
Really?
Okay. What's your thoughts, King Rinpoche? Do you think Call of Duty hurt the gaming industry, or do you think it's good for the gaming industry?
Call of Duty definitely improved the gaming industry, not only because of all the money it generated, but all the great games that came after Call of Duty. Call of Duty didn't do anything but help it. I don't see any. I don't even understand why people say they don't. I think people say they don't like Call of Duty, honestly, because they just want to. They just want to be a part of the group that doesn't like Call of Duty. Like the same thing about, oh, you don't like a certain console. Why? You don't like Call of Duty. Why? You don't. You know, they don't really have any real true explanation. And then when you tell them, well, hey, look, you don't like Call of Duty. Did you get the last one? Because they'll tell you they haven't liked Call of Duty for like 5 years straight. Like, yeah, I bought all the Call of Duty. I'm getting the new one too. Like, it's like, why are you telling me you don't like something you're gonna buy? Like, it doesn't make any sense. It's just a popular thing to say. I don't like Call of Duty.
Oh.
I don't think Call of Duty, like, it's a video game. If you don't like it, you don't play it. You know, but I don't see how it could hurt. Think of all the games that got inspired by Call of Duty. Those games are good too. I don't see the problem.
Are you all right, Levon?
Yeah,
What was that? I didn't know what that was.
I didn't know what you were doing over there, Levon.
I don't know about. You really think all them games
Oh, yeah, the
inspired by Call of Duty are good? Really?
What's your thoughts?
Name. All right. Name the games that were inspired by Call of Duty that were bad.
You said that were bad?
Yeah, that were bad. Somebody, anybody. Hell, name the games that were inspired by Call of Duty.
Pretty much every game
wait a
after
second.
Call of
Like, are you talking about like Medal of Honor or like?
No, Medal of Honor and Call of Duty came out pretty much around the same time. I'm saying name
Are
the
you talking
games.
about the multiplayer or the single player?
General?
We're talking period. I'm talking period.
Oh.
General. Period. It doesn't matter if it's multiplayer or single player.
Brother in Arms?
Brothers in Arms.
Brothers in Arms.
Brothers in Arms doesn't play like Call of Duty. Brothers in Arms have to be like the most different shooter I've ever played, like especially back in the original Xbox days.
Oh, you talking about
Are you
similar to
talking
Call?
about
No, I say Resident Evil. That last
Evil was inspired by Call of Duty.
No, that wasn't either.
Oh, that was Gears of War.
No.
See, a lot of games people say, "Oh, this game got Call of Duty-fied." It's like, how? Why? For what reason? What? And then normally they just say, "Oh, it reminds me of Call of Duty," because you shoot people. Like I don't get it.
The reason why I say that last Resident Evil, because look at that game, and then look at the Resident Evils, you know, before. You know what I'm saying? It's like it went from, you know, killing zombies, you know what I'm saying, not a real fast-paced game where you gotta run, duck into cover. This last Resident Evil, you ducking behind cover, you coming up shooting like Gears of War, you running around, you stabbing, and it wasn't even zombies.
But,
It was
wait, oh dirty. No, wait, oh dirty. Now check out what you just said. You just named a lot of stuff, and you said I did something like Gears of War, but you didn't say anything that had to do with some Call of Duty.
I can give you one. I can give you one that's turned into Call of Duty. Battlefield. Battlefield's
like Call of Duty?
Yeah. Battlefield now is close quarters where it used to be big open maps.
How
that
is
you can walk around forever.
No, wait,
and
time
never
out.
find nobody.
Time out. Now, y'all playing on consoles. I play on PC. I don't know what close quarter. Like, they have close quarter maps, obviously, but
On Battlefield Hardline, there's no close quarter.
Time out. Battlefield Hardline is a spinoff, and yes, that's more close. That's a close quarters game. That's not.
And what I'm trying to prove, though, is, and I said this on my live stream, I believe the other night when we got in a whole discussion about Rainbow Six. Battlefield is kind of imitating what Call of Duty used to be, and I don't know what the fuck Call of Duty is imitating now. That's going after like Destiny and Titanfall. You know what I'm saying? That's what's trying to be like, especially with how they're adding these special abilities to you, like in Titanfall, how you can hit the ground and shit. But Battlefield's got close quarter maps. I remember the old Battlefield. I had friends that played on computer where you could walk for a while before you've seen anybody. Now it's all tight quarter maps, especially the new DLC Robbery. It's just like it's all close quarters.
That's what I'm trying to say, Dave.
And they got Bounty Hunter mode, which is just like Kill Confirmed.
But Dave,
you're talking about Battlefield Hardline, which is a spinoff. That's like saying like Battlefield Bad Company 2 and Battlefield Bad Company. Yeah, those are Battlefield games, but in a single player department and in how it kind of plays compared to the old Battlefield, that was a spinoff. It's almost just like
Battlefield 4. Battlefield 4 it seemed a little bit like it too. I mean, the older Battlefield
it had some close quarter maps for close quarter gameplay modes, but no, Battlefield 4 is traditional Battlefield. That's what I'm saying. Like I don't know. Like some people say like stuff plays like Call of Duty, and I'm really trying to figure out like the only thing I could think of that plays somewhat like Call of Duty, but that's
GoldenEye Devils on the Wii.
Well, hold on.
Hold up. Well, that's what I'm trying to say. GoldenEye that was made on the Wii was made by who?
Activision.
Who makes Call of Duty? That's what I'm trying to say. Like, yeah, that's going to play like it's made by the people. Made by them.
Made by N-Space.
It's just like Dead Space.
People are saying like you do have game Far Cry 4. That's can be like the same, kind of similar to Call of Duty, running around with a gun shooting.
No, it's not.
I mean, I'll just say, like, I think when people say it, though, Grimpachi, they're meaning they have to have a gun, go run around shooting everybody. Everything has to be like a first person, because Call of Duty did so well, everything's trying to imitate it. It's not exactly like it, identical like it, but it's similar in some aspects.
What I'm understanding is this, right? Basically, people are saying games play like Call of Duty just because they're first-person shooters. That's what you're. I'm not. No, and I just want people to know out there that's listening. I'm truly trying to get understanding. I'm not trying to be funny. I don't understand.
Well, Grim, I look at it as we're getting too many first-person shooters. I want a different variety of games. Give me some action and adventure games, or give me a side scroller. You know what I'm saying? Give me something. Give me a space shooter.
There's a lot of variety this generation.
Give me a space shooter. Give me something like 1943 or something. You know what I'm saying? Like
1943 Battlefield.
No.
From the old. Oh.
The space shooters like R-Type and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want every game to come out be a first-person shooter.
Well,
or be the first person with a gun. You running around. Look at all the zombie games now.
Well, this is what I can do. This is what can happen, right? So, you guys, first people just got to stop buying them, and then the market will shift. But first-person shooters and first-person adventure games are very popular. It's like I'm playing Dying Light. That's a first-person hack and slash zombie adventure game, right? My favorite zombie game is Dead Island. I mean, not Dead Island, Dead Rising. But Dead Rising is nothing but a third-person beat-em-up hack and slash zombie adventure game. We have so many zombie games, we have so many shooter games because those sell like hotcakes. That's just what it is. Those people want those games. That's what we're going to get. And I wouldn't really necessarily say that Call of Duty influenced, because you got to remember why Call of Duty 4 made those adjustments. Because of Halo, because they were trying to be.
Now wait a second. Call of Duty did influence. If you're getting with this, where I think you're going, Call of Duty did influence people to get into gaming, like girls and shit. Because I didn't see no girls playing fucking Halo.
I saw some girls. I saw girls playing
Halo.
Like but you got to understand, like Call of Duty at first did nothing. Call of Duty was not a popular game
until 4.
Until 4, and then really until like Black Ops. That's when like the more females came in. You always have female gamers. I'm not trying to discredit them, but like as in the general population, they're really getting into Call of Duty. It's around maybe like Black Ops, maybe Modern Warfare 2, but not COD. COD 4 was really great at the time, but that was still like something gamers did. It was just like Rainbow Six Vegas 1 and 2 was great at the time, but you didn't have the average Joe really playing those games. But I mean, I just found this conversation interesting because I hear that a lot, that people say games are like Call of Duty, and then they never really explain That's
Do
what I
you
was trying to
think it's
figure
in
out.
the team? Do you think it's in the team deathmatch aspect why it's always considered the same? Like,
What you mean?
like how Call of Duty's most popular match is team deathmatch, and that's all. Like let's take this for example. Last night I was playing Rainbow Six, and Rainbow Six. I haven't played Rainbow Six since the Dreamcast, and I never played it online. Never played an online Rainbow Six. Always just a single player. I was playing it last night, having a blast. I love that it's just not constantly just go find this guy and kill him. There's an objective to do. And I was listening to a lot of people in the chat, and they're going, "Oh, I don't like this." So I'm not putting them on blast or anything, but TechRev came in there, and he was going on. He just wasn't into it. And I said, it seems like if it's not team deathmatch, nobody wants nothing to do with it. Like, Rainbow Six is not like your normal first-person shooters that we're getting nowadays, where it's just a lot of team deathmatch. Like, I'm talking about the online multiplayer part. And anything stealth or tactical, they don't like it. It's got to be just me going through the fucking door and shooting everybody. And no.
Well, the average person isn't going to be into that type of stuff. They never have. Like, one of the Halo, even though they got a lot of people in the first-person shooters, what was Halo's biggest problem, and why Call of Duty was very successful. It was a very simple concept. When you die in Halo, what happens in multiplayer? You gotta wait probably like 3, maybe 5 seconds. You hear the beep, 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 and then you go back in, right? Call of Duty, you die, you press Y, you're in.
Yeah, they want something
because it plays on the addictive level. It's just like when people get mad at Call of Duty, but they play match after match after match, because when you die, dying is almost nothing because you just press the respawn button, you're ready to go.
Mm-hmm. But a lot of people nowadays, they don't want it. Like when you see games like Soulcom and Ghost Recon and Rainbow Six, those type of games, like I noticed they come out like Metal Gear Solid 5 came out. It's very stealth and everything. They don't like it. They don't want to give it a chance. They want that game where you could run in and just shoot everybody. There's no real big objective. Just go kill the other teammate. This new Rainbow Six, I'm having a blast of it. It's actually fun. You send your drones in, you go scope out an area, look for the bomb, protect the bomb. You got to figure out a way which is the best way to go in. It's not like just go on that side and go kill that guy, spawn back, go kill that guy. That's what they want.
The less complicated the game is, the easier it is for people to get into it. That's just how it goes. Call of Duty's not a complicated game to understand.
Mm-hmm. Maybe it's just because, and one thing I will give Call of Duty, well, this is my problem with Call of Duty and a lot of first-person shooters. I'm tired of the future. I don't want to be in the future no more. I'm ready to go back to let's go to World War II, Vietnam. Let's do that. Vietnam, World War II, something. I don't want to be in the future. It seems like every game now is aiming for the future. Everything has to be the future. Do you agree with that?
I mean, I'm not saying, does every game have to be the future?
No, I'm talking about first-person shooters. A majority of them nowadays, not all of them, Destiny, Titanfall, Call of Duty. A lot of them are in the future. One thing I do like about Battlefield, it's not necessarily in the future. Yeah, it's doing cops versus robbers, but it's not, into the future with, with laser guns and everything else. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I don't think everything has to be in the future, but you got to understand, like, when shooters were really popular back in the day, they were doing the World War II thing, right? Then they started to go more, modern, right? They wanted everything to be modernized, right? Then, now what else do? Do they go back to the past? No, they go to the future. Even though, to be honest with you, there's always been modern shooters. There's always been past shooters. There's always been futuristic shooters. It's just, I would say PlayStation 1 generation and PS2 generation was the World War II and World War I and Cold War type shooters more than anything else, even though there were futuristic and modern shooters. You come to last generation, that was modern. Now this is futuristic. That's what they're trying to go for. I mean, it's just how things are. That's just how the industry flows.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say one game is going over the other.
I would say, so you're happy with the future? You want it to keep going in the future? Like,
honestly,
you want it to go back to like to me, and I've seen this say in many videos. I think even Broken Games said this. Call of Duty has lost its meaning. it's not really about the veterans anymore or nothing. It's about this. It's like the futuristic shit. They don't really not what it first started out to be.
Well, Call of
I
Duty
would
lost
love.
its meaning like since 4. Call of
Well,
Duty
that's
used to
what I'm
teach you
saying.
history.
Yeah, it used to be a different. The game was a whole different thing. Now it's just this futuristic shooter. You know. Huh.
I mean, but everything that Call of Duty is doing, it's been done before in the past on older shooters. That shooters used to be like the futuristic, like hopping off walls, running across the screen, dodging left and right at the lightning speed. Like Call of Duty is actually slow compared to older shooters like Quake and stuff like that. Game's been doing this forever. That's what I'm saying. Like a lot of this stuff is not even really new to people that's been playing games for a long time. Like everything that Advanced Warfare does or Black Ops 3 does has been done, I would say, even better in older shooters. You could run off walls and dodge left and right in old games. None of this.
So you don't think games nowadays, like a majority of games, so let's just take this in general, don't seem like it just always has to be a guy with a gun. You know, you don't see too many games in the past like Castlevania. You know, something different. You know what I'm saying? Like, would you say there's a lot of games that, huh?
I mean, like I said, everything, whatever is popular is what you will get. Just like back in the day, you got a lot of games where you were somebody running across a 2D plane, jumping on things. You had a platformer.
Well, that's
Back in the
because they
day,
didn't do 3D. They didn't do 3D yet.
I mean,
you know.
there are so many games you could do in 2D. Back in the day, what would you used to get? Like people complain about like games being similar, right? How many beat 'em up games did you get made by the same company and they all played the same thing except for it was a reskin?
Oh yeah, you're right on that. Now I said that a while ago. A lot of my problem with fighting games, they never really evolve. They're always the same. They never really they couldn't do it. I mean, the fighting games are good, but you can reach your limit with fighting games too, or you could be playing them for a while and just get burnt out on them. I got burnt out on them and actually got back into them this generation, but I haven't played them in years. You know,
Yeah.
the only one I touched a few here and there, like Injustice and Mortal Kombat versus DC, but before that, I couldn't tell you the last one I played. You know, from back in the day when I was playing Street Fighter 2, Tekken, the original Tekken. That shit got burnt out. I mean, everything, I will admit this, everything gets burnt out after a while. I think, like, the futuristic shit's getting old to me. I like to see more maybe modern stuff and, you know, maybe back in the day with the Vietnam and World War II. I like that shit. You know, I wasn't one complaining I wanted to go to the future, you know. I had that with Halo if I wanted to go to the future, you know.
Yeah.
But no, it's a good back like discussion. I like that. But I agree. I get what Grimpachi's saying. I get what the old Dirty's saying. I get what I'm saying. You know, we all have our own opinions. But I do. Grimpachi did make a good point. You know, Call of Duty. What is it like? I mean, if you really think about it, I guess you're right on that. You know, there isn't really much. What would you say? There isn't much stuff like it, or?
No, I'm just saying Call of Duty, if you really think about it, the games that actually do play like Call of Duty are games that are made by the people who make Call of Duty, or somebody that made or worked on Call of Duty made the game that plays like Call of Duty. But I'm obviously games are influenced by other games. I'm not saying that's not true, but I've never played a game personally that I'm like, man, this is just Call of Duty, unless it was like Levon is right, 007 on the Wii, GoldenEye the remake. If you didn't play with the Wii remote and nunchuck, yeah, you just play with the controller, yeah, it felt just like Call of Duty except for a little worse. But it was made by Activision, who makes Call of Duty, so it was like,
I think it was developed by Eurocom and it was published by Activision. But anyways, never mind.
Do you think maybe the reason people are saying that because Call of Duty is this every year franchise and there's a lot of Call of Duties? Maybe people are just burnt out of Call of Duty itself?
I mean, Call of Duty, people probably are burnt out of it. I mean, but see, gamers are very strange type of people because it's not that a gamer is burnt. See, when you're burnt out in the game, I would expect you to just stop playing it, right?
Yeah.
But see, gamers, half the time when they say they're burnt out in the game, it's not even because they're playing it. They just don't want to even see it
Yeah.
exist. And that makes me scratch my head, because it's like me saying I'm burnt out on Madden. I don't play Madden unless my friends are playing it and I'm just over hanging with them. I don't buy Madden. I don't play it. It's not my type of game. I don't feel any type of way towards Madden, because I don't hate it, like it, or anything. It's just a video game, and I play it if I feel like it, or I don't. Like, I'm not burnt out. But some people don't even want Madden to. They don't even want to go to the store and see Madden on the wall.
Yeah. See, I take now. This year will be the first year in a while I am not buying Call of Duty. I'll stand by that in this video. If I buy Call of Duty this year, I'll shut my YouTube channel down. I'm not buying it. I'm just tired of it. I had enough of Call of Duty. There's too many other options out there. You know, I can get Rainbow Six. I can get Star Wars Battlefront. There's other first-person shooters I can go to. You know, I'm not giving them my money this year just because it's going to be the same. To me, it seems so much similar to Advanced Warfare. It's like they're just, you know, it's got like a little bit of feel of Destiny in it. You know, I'm not doing it. But yeah, I agree with everything you're saying. It's pretty good, man. One thing before I get in the main topic, I know this podcast is long, but we were talking. What do you guys think of the whole thing with, since we're talking about Call of Duty, I believe last generation Call of Duties of Black Ops 3, there's going to be no multiplayer. No single player. No single player campaign. They're just selling you the multiplayer. Just
I think this would be a test for always online games, stuff like that, and I think they're testing on the PS3 and 360 because it has like a really, really big audience. Because PS4 and Xbox One compared to the counterparts aren't as big if you think about it. But yeah, and plus it's kind of time to upgrade if you want to play that single player.
Okay. So you think it's kind of, this is a test for developers to see if people would be willing just to buy the multiplayer? Is that what you said, Levon?
Yes.
Okay. What's your thoughts, King Rapachi, on last generation not having a single-player campaign in the Call of Duty versions?
I mean, honestly, it could just be that they probably were working on Black Ops 3 for last generation, and they realized that they would have to really dumb down the single-player visuals, and maybe it was just to the point that they couldn't really get it to play right, and maybe they did have the multiplayer working, and they were like, man, we can't sell just the game with no multiplayer. But from what I heard, people were begging, like saying, oh, we want it on last generation. So they said, okay, fuck it, we'll just give you what we got, which is the multiplayer. And let's be honest, a lot of people say, man, I want to just buy the multiplayer because I don't play the single player on Call of Duty anyway. So hey, it looks like they get what they want. I think they get multiplayer and zombies. And,
what if it's a $60 price tag, though? Do you think it should be dropped down in price, maybe?
It's all about what.
It's $49.99 actually.
Oh, okay, so they are dropping the price. Hey, I can't complain with that then.
Yeah,
I'll be honest with you. I'm sorry. You should be into next generation by now. With as cheap as these fucking consoles are, and I've seen other generations where, like last generation, where a PS fucking 3 was almost $600 for the big, the good, the 80 gig. Then you had the Xbox 360, which I think I paid $449 for mine. So these consoles are fucking cheap, and then there's going to be another price drop after this holiday season. I don't even want to hear people couldn't get, and they're even offering you deals too, like last year. Trade in your 360 if you have a decent model. We'll knock another $150 off of it. Get the fuck out of here if you say you can't afford that. And if you're gaming, you shouldn't be gaming. You should be doing something, maybe fucking playing tennis or something. You don't need to be gaming.
Oh my God.
But I do think, if they're giving you the price drop and all that, $50, I was thinking maybe just the developers just being lazy. But if they're giving you a $50 version, I just think last generation needs to die. I don't think they even need to bother with that version. But, League of Winning, I talked to him. He actually bought Advanced Warfare recently on last generation because he don't want to pay for the online. He don't want to pay for PlayStation Plus and, Xbox, Gold. So he says the PS3 can play it free online, and he's okay with the graphics looking the way they do, and they don't look much different. Now this version, I don't know what it's going to look like. What's your thoughts, Old Dirty, on that? with the whole PS3, Xbox 360 version not getting a campaign. And you're a big campaign dude. You like campaigns.
Yeah, but I wouldn't. As long as it's staying, on the PS4 and Xbox One, that's cool. So I wouldn't even buy it for the 360 and PS3. But
What if this applies to, yeah, but what if this is like Levon said, what if this is a test where they're seeing, hey, these dudes bought no game with no campaign, with the PS4 and the Xbox One version PC, next time around we're not doing a campaign, they're just getting multiplayer for $50. What's your thought? What would you be okay with that?
yeah, I'd be okay with it. I mean, I wouldn't, I wouldn't be pissed off and be like, I don't want to play Call of Duty. I mean, I do play the multiplayer, but I usually go for the campaign first. You know what I'm saying? Beat it within like 2 days, and then go on to the multiplayer and just have fun on the multiplayer. But if this is a way for them to see that gamers prefer just the multiplayer, then I guess that'll save them money from having to make a story, trying to go out and get big name actors to put them in the campaign. You know what I'm saying, for you to play through it. That's more money in their pocket. I'm pretty sure they spent a truckload of money trying just to get Kevin Spacey. You know what I'm saying? Like, he really didn't even need to be in the damn campaign. To be honest, he didn't make it worthwhile. Where it was like, oh man, I got to play through that again. No.
Well, but the thing is, your casual audience that sees Kevin Spacey in a video game, they're the ones looking at that, and that attracts them. The people that don't really, not really looking at just the multiplayer, they see some big name dude. Okay, for example, NBA 2K, a Spike Lee joint. Like, people look at that, like movies, or, oh, damn, Spike Lee's doing fucking video games now. I mean, people think like that. I wonder what this game, if they had a story in it, that'd be cool to play, And they see Kevin Spacey in a video game, and most of these games nowadays becoming very, they're like movies, some of them, like with the cutscenes. They actually look like, actual movies, so that does attract casuals, casual audience.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oops.
So, what's your thoughts, One Piece fanboy, on last generation Call of Duty not having a single player campaign?
A couple of things. One, most Call of Duty players don't even care about campaign. They never even play it. Two, if you're still on last gen, you're probably broke, or you're not a real gamer. You're just a casual gamer. And that's pretty much it. That's all that really needs to be said.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that. I think if you're on last generation, you're doing pretty bad in life. You're struggling. and I'm not saying to attack nobody. I'm just like, if you're in here in the console war in the comment sections and you still didn't get next generation system, then you obviously you're not a real gamer. Just being real. I guess the last thing, I'm trying to think if I want to talk about anything else. There was one thing, but I can't. It's slipping my mind.
Yeah.
What? Let me just ask somebody so far. Okay, this is, I guess I don't want to make it too long, but I'm gonna throw this in there. I want to ask this, just like a regular gaming-related topic, no news story or nothing. What's the biggest disappointment of the 8th generation so far to you? Like, it could be anything. It don't just have to be a game. It could be a console. It could be anything about the gaming industry. It could be a person in the gaming industry. What's the biggest disappointment to you so far? King Grimpachi. So far, meaning where we're at now in the generation from when it started.
I would say all the systems. This may be a long list. All the systems. The reason I say that is because the Wii U, I just didn't see at the beginning of the generation. There is a reason now. I didn't see any reason to get a PS4 or Xbox One. The Wii U, I saw reasons, but yeah, I don't even have to explain. The Wii U started getting a lot of games, and that kind of sucked. Metal Gear Solid 5, that's another disappointment. That single player was horrible.
Well, that your biggest. Now the question is your biggest disappointment, just overall,
The big, like, if
outshadows
I had to
all your
pick,
disappointments. Well, it has to
oh,
be disappointment.
Oh,
my biggest disappointment.
that's
Um,
You could say like the console generation, like not console, like all the consoles. You could say that you're just not happy with all the consoles. You could say just one big thing that actually really disappointed you.
biggest thing I could think of possibly.
Yeah,
Um,
so far.
yes.
I would probably still say that Metal Gear.
Okay, damn. So Metal Gear, you're disappointed with Metal Gear. So obviously this Metal Gear is this the worst Metal Gear to you of the franchise of Metal Gear Solid?
Of the main games with the numbers in front of them, yeah, I say that.
Okay, I can kind of understand that because I mean to me out of the Metal Gears I played, I mean I can't say it's more disappointing than VR Missions because that was a big disappointment. But I didn't like that. What was that other Metal Gear that I can't remember? Vengeance or something? I didn't like that one. Who made that?
Metal Gear Rising.
Rising. Well, the one was I think made by Platinum Games. Is that who made it? I did not like that. So I mean that one kind of the one for me. I can understand that. See what Karapachi's talking about. Levon, what's your biggest disappointment this generation so far?
As a whole,
Just your biggest disappointment at anything that happened this generation. It could be a gaming console. It could be something that happened in the gaming industry. It could be,
I mean, this generation's okay. I mean, there were some bad things about it, like little things, but nothing to like.
But what's the thing that bothers you the most about this generation? Like, what thing that you can think of off the top of your head that you just don't like about this generation? It could be a game, a console, something that took place at an E3 event,
I guess Nintendo not having features, I guess.
Okay, I could respect that. All right. The old dirty. What's your biggest disappointment?
Y'all already know what my whole gripe is about this generation.
What?
Buying a fucking console and have to buy a fucking new hard drive for it a month after you get it because you got to install every fucking game on the damn hard drive.
What system is that?
That's a good one. All right, I can respect that.
I just want to put the disc in like every other console before these and just play the game. I don't want to wait 40 minutes per hour to play the game. I just want to put it in and play it. That's all.
Now you know what's crazy? Last night I tried to remember the Rainbow Six beta. I installed it. It took like I don't know about 2 hours to install it. Okay, I got a NBA 2K today and installed it in probably a half hour to 45 minutes. And I understand the beta was digital versus physical copy, but that's just a beta. It's not even a full game. You know what I'm saying?
Basically the beta.
Yeah, so I mean it was ridiculous to how long it took to install that. But I can respect that dirty. And One Piece fanboy, what's your biggest disappointment this generation so far?
The PlayStation 4 controller thumbsticks. They run out so fast. I run into like 5 or 6 controllers because the rubber just keeps coming off. Ridiculous.
And I thought people were lying about that because I had my controller for a while, and it didn't just happen until recently. This is the one I got with my PS4, and it's peeling right now. It looked like some people were showing off that their dog chewed it or some shit, and I couldn't get over it. I was like, they're just fucking chewing on their controller or something. And actually, mine started peeling itself. So I could see that. It's cheaply made. I mean, just being honest. My biggest disappointment is the Wii U. I have to agree with what Grim was saying. That the Wii U is the biggest disappointment to me this generation. I had high hopes for that console, and I thought Nintendo was going to turn things around with it. It was going to be like a lot of people don't like hearing this, but I thought it was going to be them stepping back into the Super Nintendo days, and actually competing, and it wasn't like that at all. So that's my biggest disappointment. That overshadows everything.
But I understand.
Alright, main topic of the night. I know it took a long time to get here, guys. Sorry, we were talking about a bunch of shit. Pretty much, what was it? It was YouTubers, not being honest with, their subscribers, which I put subs because you can't make a big title. With YouTubers not being honest with their subscribers, I had a lot of people, and I'm not just attacking this one person, it goes with a lot of other YouTubers. I think a lot of YouTubers are full of shit half the time. I think they have other agendas. You got YouTubers now that will basically tell their subscribers one thing just to make them happy so they don't have to address that subject no more, and they just don't come out and be honest. Me and Grimpachi were talking earlier before this podcast, waiting for everybody to get in. And, this week, a lot I've been asked, to address the whole subject with Bear Hugger. Me and Bear Hugger had our back and forth, and I predicted to Bear Hugger, once he got that PS4, he would get rid of the fucking Wii U. And me and Bear Hugger did talk about this, so I told a lot of people on my live stream. I said I addressed it with, Bear Hugger. We talked about this. He actually hit me up on Skype about a month ago, 2 months ago. But one thing I noticed Bear Hugger did, he told me, he goes, I'm going to make a video about this. But this was about like a month and a half ago, at least a month ago. Month and a half ago, maybe longer. This Wii U's been gone a while. And he was supposed to make a video right after, he said, I'm making a video. He had it sound like he was making it, that day. And he didn't now just address it till the other day. So now you got all these people calling him the next gamer Nate. And I did predict this. I told Bear Hugger, he swore to me. He says, oh, I'll get my PS4. I'll play it just the same. I'll play it just as even as my Wii U. And that wasn't the case, and I think what happened with Bear, he says his mom bought his Wii U. I think when his TV broke, this is what I think, when his TV broke, he has this little pawn shop that he goes to, and he sells off his video games that he told me about. And maybe it might have been that pawn shop, it might have been another place, but he checked when his TV broke, he took his Wii U somewhere, and they were going to give him money for it. I think once he saw how much money he could get, and he pretty much, he got his TV through however he got it, but he took that Wii U and still sold that, whether it was right there or a little bit later, and that's how he got a lot of games, and added on whatever other money he had, but he did not sell it to his mom. I don't believe it. He sent me messages. I will say this, Bear Hugger, I don't believe that from other stuff I heard from other people I'm not going to name. But is Bear Hugger wrong for doing this? That's what, that's one thing I want to address with this whole topic. And this topic isn't just aimed at Bear Hugger, it's with other people not being honest with their subscriber base. You got a lot of people here on YouTube that are basically calling themselves, something that they're completely not, and saying that they do this, saying that they play these games and they don't, pretending to be a gamer. It goes along with all that shit too. But I don't blame Bear Hugger for selling his Wii U. I think he should have been honest. See, when you have a channel like me and Grim were talking earlier, and your channel's dedicated to Nintendo, don't lie to your subscriber base and tell them that you got this, and then when it comes time for certain games to come out, you're just saying, oh, I'm getting that later or whatever, and you never plan on getting that game. That's fucking not being honest with your subscriber base. What do you think, King Grimpachi, about people not being honest with their subscriber base? Is that a good thing for YouTube or bad?
I don't think. I think you should be honest. To be honest with you, half this shit you ain't even gotta tell nobody. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just to be honest. I used to tell Gamer Nate the same thing. I'm like, look, dude, you want to get rid of your. You used to hit us up in Skype and say, yo, man, I'm getting rid of the Xbox. And we used to tell Nate, don't tell nobody you're getting rid of the Xbox. Well, why not? I said, because why do you have to? You don't have to tell them you got rid of it. It's none of their business. Because all they're going to do is get mad at you, and then you're going to be like, why? And then we're going to go through this circle again and explain to you why they're mad. Because you sat here, you championed the system up, said, fuck Sony dudes, I'm an Xbox guy, and then you get rid of the system like a week later, they're going to get mad at you. Like, it's not rocket science. But with Bear's situation, I mean, Bear was a Nintendo channel, and personally, as someone who used to watch his channel, I don't watch anymore because it just the content is the same. It seems like he's more enthusiastic when he's talking about Nintendo than anything else. But
Do you think that, okay, without trying to really attack Bear Hugger, it's kind of hard to do this. Do you think the reason the road he's on, he feels he has to be the way he is now? Does that make sense? The way he's going, he feels that he has to go. Like, with him accepting that gift, does he feel, you think, that he has to follow that path and he can't be
get rid of Wii U? And,
well, that's what I'm saying. Like, with him accepting the gift, we'll just name names here, fuck it. One Stop for Gamers. He accepted that gift from, do you think Bear Hugger feels obligated that he has to be the Sony dude now that Big Dread wants him to be? Because we all know Big Dread's not an Xbox dude, he's a fucking Sony guy. You know, or not even really that either. We don't know what the fuck he is really, but he kind of defends Sony. You know, it's written Sony, but who knows what he really is. Do you think he's obligated to do that? You know, he feels like an obligation, or he might get a backlash from, you know, the Dream Team, or
I don't know about any of that stuff. I mean, the only thing I could think of is like Bear got the system, and Bear, I mean, he got the PS4. If he feels obligated to now become a PlayStation dude, I don't see why he would. The only reason why I would think Bear would feel obligated to become a PlayStation channel is because he no longer has the other machine, which, as we all know, he doesn't.
Well, I seen recently in one of their podcasts, because I've watched One White Kong's channel, and he had a video up with Bear Hugger talking about Xbox, and I noticed the rest of the, you know, the Dream Team members got kind of upset that Bear Hugger was actually talking good things about the Xbox. And it seems to me like Bear Hugger wants, you know, like an Xbox One, but I think his, you know, his group that he's around, they kind of like look down on the Xbox, you know, and he feels that maybe he has to talk, you know, good about the PlayStation.
Can Bear Hugger even afford an Xbox?
I mean, that's a different story, you know. I mean, I don't know. I'm just, in general, this is, let's keep it fair. I'm not trying to attack Bear Hugger. This is about being honest with your subscribers, and we're just trying to figure out why he's doing, because a lot of people are calling him the next Gamer Nate. And he does have, I don't think he's like Gamer Nate. Gamer Nate was a different situation, but he's in a position where Gamer Nate was, where Gamer Nate was like, do I want to piss off this fan base? Because what Gamer Nate would do, he'd be a Nintendo dude, he'd go full throttle, cheer up the fucking Wii U, and then he would completely just fucking sell the shit, sell all his games, and then go to the PlayStation, get all the games for that, buy that, become this PlayStation dude.
Oh, but then you got one thing, he would basically say fuck everybody that he was championing. Like, that was another big issue.
Now, Bear Hugger don't do that. Bear Hugger, though, is in the same position as Nate because he don't know what to do. He's not sure. Do I tell people I sold my Wii U? Because that's what Nate would think. Do I tell people I sell it and then just go to my other console? Or do I just lie about it? You know, that's where he's at with Nate. I wouldn't say Bear Hugger's similar to Nate, like the same as Nate. I mean, he is similar in some ways. Like, to me, Bear Hugger kind of did replace Nate for Nintendo. Like, when Nate was doing Nintendo, I get that same feel about Bear Hugger. But Bear Hugger's way more knowledgeable. But Nate could pull off some shit. You know, Nate could make you believe a lot of shit if he wanted to. Like, he's been gaming for centuries. You know, he was good at that to the average person that watched him. But in my mind, that's who replaced Bear Hugger. You know, Bear Hugger was his replacement in a way, but they're not totally alike. You know, there is some traits there. But people are calling him the next Gamer Nate mainly because they think that he's going to go back and buy the Wii U. But look how many people, you got people in this community that have bought consoles 7 times, the same console. That makes Nate look like nothing. You know, that Nate wasn't doing nothing wrong, you know.
That's crazy.
You know, and those people don't get no type of heat or nothing.
They don't champion a console or a device, and then they don't tell you half the time when they sell it. Like, that's probably that. Like I said, when I got rid of my Wii U, none of the people that when I told people, no one cared. Matter of fact, I even said maybe a week after I got rid of it, I said I might get another one because that's when they started talking about Mario Maker for the first time, and everybody was like, "Hey, when you get another one, I see you on the Wii U." I don't care if I get another Wii U or not because I'm not. No, I'm not that type of channel. I don't champion anything.
Mm-hmm. Well, see, you now, Grimpachi, when I look at you to me, I can't identify you with any type of console. I can't put a label on you because you talk about
I just play games.
Different things. You know what I'm saying? You're not these dudes that we're talking about, like Gamer Nate, when they focus on something, they're on it. You know, know, they really show that they're this Nintendo dude. You know, Bear Hugger showed his love for Nintendo. Gamer Nate, when he was with Nintendo, he loved Nintendo. You could see it in the videos. I mean, kind of, unless he was faking which he was, obviously. And then we saw Microsoft, how he would like Microsoft. Like, they go full throttle into whatever they like. And that's what shows. See, you're like, you like a variety of things, you know. I can't really pinpoint. I have heard from people that you're a Sony fanboy. I have heard that, but I don't see. I heard that. You know, I'll say that.
Oh shit, that's funny.
Or they call you a troll for. They say you like to troll.
Oh yeah, I'm always a troll, but there's no evidence of that either.
Probably not.
But what is your thoughts about, you know, just in general? What was the main talk? Now we're going into this whole other thing. Just basically, YouTubers being honest with their subs. One Piece fanboy, and you can comment on everything else we talked about if you want. Your point.
Alright, I'm gonna. You made a video earlier this week about why pretending to be something you're not, right?
Yeah.
And we all know who you were talking about. One Stop for Gamers. Am I right?
That was part of the person. There
mean,
were other people I addressed in that.
And I just watched one of his streams recently, and I saw him playing Naruto. I'm like, why is One Stop for Gamers playing Naruto? What does he know about this story? Like, anything about it? He looks so miserable. He looks like he's about to cry. He looks like he'd rather be doing anything else but gaming. So, my biggest thing is, why pretend to like things that you don't like? He has all this anime on his channel now. I'm like, what is going on here? Who is telling him to do this?
He been hanging out with Zobi probably.
Well, that, and I think because of the Sony's press conference at the Tokyo Game Show, you know, pretty much all Sony showed. I mean, I understand they aimed for the Tokyo audience, and they did a good job on what they aimed for, but if you're a Sony gamer right now, and you like PlayStation, and that's what's coming, basically, is a lot of JRPGs, so he has to prove he likes that shit. Even though he says he's this Xbox dude. If he wants to talk the PlayStation console up, that's what he has to aim for. You know, One Piece fanboy, he likes those games. But does One Stop for Gamers actually like those games is the question, you know? You know, I could tell who likes them really and who doesn't. Now the guy Zobi, you could tell he likes JRPGs. You know, he's into that shit. You know, but like One Piece fanboy was saying, I watched some of these dudes' streams that are telling people what they like, and you watch them play the game, and they just look fucking miserable. They look terrible playing it. It looks like they're in a movie with their girlfriend that they didn't want to go see, like The Notebook or something, and they're just there to make her happy. and why would you do that to yourself if you didn't have to? You're like, at least you're trying to get laid there.
They're trying to prove stuff to people over the internet. That's the thing. And I'm not even saying that trying to be an asshole, because I mean, I didn't see One Stop stream. I saw a picture, and in the picture it was him playing Naruto or something. I forgot who showed me that picture, but I mean, I've already talked about the same topic too. A lot of people just I think they want to fit in. That's what that boils down to. I mean,
but you think, okay? I think I agree with you on that. It could be they want to fit in. They want friends because this is an easy outlet to make friends. Like a person can easily, like I said in my video, they can easily pick up a controller and play Call of Duty. I mean, there is a difference from picking up a controller, playing Call of Duty, and being good at it too. You could be really good at Call of Duty, but anybody can really play Call of Duty. It's not a hard game to learn. But can them same people go pretend to be a skateboarder? Can they go pretend to be a guitarist? Can they go pretend to go play the drums? They look fucking horrible in a YouTube video playing the drums if they don't know how to play the drums or the guitar. But you can fake being a gamer. It's not hard.
I think the Sony fan base is the worst when it comes to pretending to like stuff. And I'm a Sony guy. I play on Sony, but I see some of these channels. I'll say some names like Jay Barry and his whole little crew. They're playing games like One Piece. I know they're never gonna beat. I checked their trophies. It's all half done. They're playing all these Japanese games. They never beat them, but they pit them in these lists and go, well, we're getting this and you're not getting this. And like, if I gave you those games for free, you wouldn't even touch them. So why do you care if they're like on Sony or not? I don't get it.
on the PC as well.
Like I told people, I said you could give me all them games I saw pretty much at the Tokyo Game Show, and I would not take them free. I said that in my live stream. I wouldn't, you know. But somebody that likes that shit, that's fine. But you got people now because that conference took place, and that was pretty much with the console war. People were saying, "Oh, Sony's just gonna drop bombs there," and they got to promote what Sony showed. Now they got to talk that up like it's the best thing ever. And I'm like, to the Dude Bro audience, you know, Gamescom would have been way better. You know, like there's no way those type of people like they were saying, oh, you know, Tokyo Game Show is going to blow Gamescom out of the water for what they showed with stuff like they showed, like Quantum Break and stuff like that. They showed shit, you know, I think they did a good job what they did because they were aiming for that audience. But you had dudes that don't even play that shit talking about the Tokyo Game Show like it's going to be showing games like Quantum Break that Sony's bringing and stuff, or it was just JRPGs. And those are the games that are coming, so they got to act like they like those games. So they could sit there and say, oh, Sony's got this and that and this, which is a lot of games coming from, you know, the Tokyo Game Show. But you know damn well those dudes don't play games like that. Why even pretend?
Oh, okay. So he made that video that I see. I didn't watch the video. I just seen the title saying that Sony got 100 and some games and Microsoft only got 20 or something like that. But I mean, I see the guy for what he is. You know what I'm saying? It's like if you never talked about anime and Naruto on your channel, or even mention it, saying you enjoy watching it or playing the type of game, you know what I'm saying, on last generation, then out of the blue, when Sony do their press conference and that's what you see is JRPGs, now all of a sudden you're into that. You know what I'm saying? Because to me, you're phony. Because for one, you're not the face of Xbox. Two, you don't like Xbox. You know what I'm saying? Three, you try to find any information about Xbox to down it. You know what I'm saying? We all have our gripes about our main machine we like gaming on, but we just don't go and just make up stuff. Or, you know, when it's a good thing that Microsoft has done or is doing, you one up it, but then you have to find something to down it as you giving it praise. You know what I'm saying? But then I see you turn around and you praise the console that you really don't care too much for gaming on, but it's like you're praising it. You know what I'm saying? And you like everything on there for some odd reason, because I'm like, okay, you don't like the first party games, majority of the games, and we all know Microsoft do not have a lot of first party exclusives. They only have a few. But out of those few, majority of you do not like that you said on the 360. So how did you enjoy the 360 and not the PS3 that had all the exclusive? It had some really good exclusives. How did you enjoy playing the 360, but you don't enjoy playing the Xbox One?
Well, Old Dirty, he said his friends kept saying the PlayStation 3 was garbage, so that's why he was an Xbox gamer.
So look, like let me put this in simpler terms, right? Because I stopped paying attention, I stopped watching, because I already done did what I did, and it was a wrap after that. Ain't nothing else to be said. But I mean, based upon that statement alone, if that is true, that just sounds like someone that's just following the leader, basically. Because like what Old Dirty said is 100% true. Like it's like someone saying, "Man, I don't like PlayStation." Well, why don't you like PlayStation? I don't like none of their exclusive games. Okay, I don't like JRPGs. I don't like, you know, wacky anime type games. I don't like. So you basically don't like. You don't like third party games. You don't like what Sony basically is. But you're a Sony gamer. That wouldn't make sense to the average person that has a brain. So I understand why everybody has a gripe with certain YouTubers, like the lies and all that stuff. Yeah, I mean, I've gotten on that. I've told people how I feel about it. But at the end of the day, best way to handle any situation is to just inform the people you want to inform, and then it's no point after that. Like, just move on. Like, because liars are going to be liars, and they're going to keep lying no matter what you do. You know, that's just what it boils down to.
Well, let me throw this at you though. You got the PS4 this generation, pretty much the Xbox 360 of last generation. To the casual audience, why it's selling, I would say, is the majority of the third party games are looked at as the better ones on that console. So you got a lot of gamers that are casuals buying the PS4 basically because they think that the PS4 has better multiplats that play better and all that. So when it comes into the console war, you got this whole exclusive thing. It's all about exclusives because we can't argue about multiplats because Xbox pretty much got the same multiplats as the PS4. So they got to start arguing about exclusives. So right now, all Sony's got for an argument with exclusives really for this year, and a majority of them coming are JRPGs. So these guys that have bought a PS4 and like the PS4 for third party, they got to talk up these exclusives because they're in the console war, So that's where kind of I think makes things look really stupid because really these dudes are playing Call of Duty, Assassin's Creed and Battlefield, Grand Theft Auto. They're not playing these JRPGs. A majority of them, just the hardcore fan base for Sony's playing them. But that's their exclusive to talk up.
What's crazy, Dave, is I made a video talking about Sony gamers and Japanese games and stuff like that. And a good number of Sony gamers came in my comments and were just like, I don't know what you talk about. I don't see gamers pretending to like stuff they don't like. And I was saying, you know where I got that from? Not only my own observation, but if anybody watches Zobi70, I've been watching Zobi70 before. He's always been, at least in my eyes, from when I was watching YouTube, popular. But because he's mingling with other people, he used to talk to Zaire and other people like that. He's become a little bit more popular than what he was before. He has on his own podcast, I think, with the same people that I think One Piece fan mentioned, who are people that he's around. He said y'all buying this JRPG game, he'll just start naming these games, right? That obviously Zobi knows what they are, and he'd be like, "Oh, let me go look at your stuff. You aren't playing these games. You don't even know what these games are." And he would call out people, not like in a mean, malicious way, but basically in a way just saying, he would literally just be like, "Yo, if you're not into that stuff, just say you're not. Why? Just because I like it doesn't mean you gotta like it." Basically, because I see a lot of Sony fans doing that. I don't really see too many Xbox dudes say, "Oh, I like shooters," because the majority of our audience just does. A shooting game is not something that, that's a game that any and everybody gets into. But JRPGs and these Japanese anime games and a lot of these anime games they're claiming as exclusive are on PC. I don't even understand why. A lot of these games they don't like. A lot of these games they don't really play. It's just I bought that Shonen Jump game. That game, if you played any anime game before, that game is bad. It's very repetitive. The only reason you would buy that game is just because you like anime, you want to look at anime characters on the screen. That game as a game sucks. I don't know too many people that would not say it doesn't suck, other than the people who just want to say, or the people who just want to fit in. That game is very the same shit over and over and over and over again. But people want to be in denial and pretend like they don't see people pretending to like shit just to fit in. It is what it is.
Now, is there something wrong with trying a game that you never play? If you're honestly buying a game, I bought Bloodborne. I've never played the Dark Souls series, Demon Souls, any of those games. I heard all this talk about Bloodborne. I gave it a shot. I actually ended up liking it from what I played so far. I haven't got really into it because I have all these other fucking games. But from what I played, I enjoyed it. Same thing with The Witcher. Now, The Witcher actually got further. The Witcher, I wouldn't say I'm real deep in it, but I'm deep in it, and I never really got into a game like that. And that's a difference from actually playing the fucking game instead of just sitting there bragging about it. Or maybe playing it, but just playing the beginning of it, Yeah. Now, there's a difference there. Give the game a shot. You can try a game you don't maybe not like and might like it. That is possible, but I don't believe all these dudes just love JRPGs all of a sudden.
Yeah, I said that in my video. I even said I'm not talking about the people who, they're getting into different genres because someone encouraged them to or anything like that. I'm talking about the people who, because there are people that just straight up.
All right, guys, I gotta go.
All right.
Later.
All right. There are guys that have straight up tried different genres. They've tried these games and they don't like them, but yet they will. It's no different than someone saying they don't like a game, but they keep purchasing it every time and not using it, and they complain about it or something. You're just like, well, why you keep buying it? And they don't even have an answer to give you. They just, I don't know. It just doesn't make sense half the time. You could tell when people really aren't interested in something.
Yeah, I noticed one game in particular. Persona 5, like Persona's my favorite series, so I'm like, all right, it's getting a bit popular. But then I noticed all the people talking about it. They're not gonna beat the game. They never beat Persona 4, and if they did buy Persona 4, they didn't even beat the game. But they're over here jumping up and down for Persona 5. I'm like, what is going on? I thought you actually had to beat the game before it could be hyped about the sequel. And they're all using it on these lists before the game got delayed. Oh, we're getting Persona 5 this year. It's gonna be amazing. Check the trophy level on Persona 4. It's not even close to being beaten. What's
Well, a
up
lot
with
of people
that?
say that they played Persona 4 on PS2 where there were no trophies, and that's why you don't see any trophies or something. And that could be very much true, but like I always say, you can always just talk to somebody about a game, and when they don't know half the shit that goes on in the game, like then more than likely they didn't play the game. It's just like people getting excited over Attack on Titan, and I'm like, why? Do you like the show? They never seen the show. What about the game is interesting? Like before they even show gameplay, people were talking about it plays like other games, and I'm like, where's this gameplay footage? Because I can't find any. Oh, there is no gameplay footage yet. Did the devs say it play like other games? No, they're just making assumptions. I'm like, if you
Yeah.
like Attack on Titan so much, some of these jokers, I'm like, I know you got a 3DS. How about you go play that game, which is basically the same shit except for it's on the PS4 now. Oh, I don't want to play it there. But you like Attack on Titan.
Yeah, I mean, they're jumping up and down about One Piece games. That One Piece Pirate Warriors 3.
Which those existed on the PS3. They're just nothing but Dynasty Warriors in the One Piece world, and they probably never play any of those games.
Yeah,
I didn't know what it was until he came in my comment section. I didn't know it then either. I thought that was just how his name was, One Piece fanboy. Then I saw the Tokyo Game Show press conference, and I was like, oh, okay, it's an actual game,
Yeah,
But
One Piece is an anime, and One Piece Warriors is like it's equivalent to Hyrule Warriors. It's a Dynasty Warriors game with a One Piece skin over it.
Oh, okay, so it's like Hyrule Warriors, like
Yeah,
how
but
it was
with One Piece characters.
Yeah, okay.
And I guarantee a lot of people don't even like Dynasty Warriors. They're hyping up One Piece Warriors.
Well, that was the same situation with
The
Hyrule
Hyrule Warriors.
Warriors. When that came out in the Wii U, you had people all of a sudden liking Dynasty Warriors on Nintendo, and you know damn well they didn't like Dynasty Warriors. They all of a sudden liked it. They're finding didn't Wii U or Wii have a version of Dynasty Warriors that all of a sudden was a great game? They had a version of, like, one of their versions. I can't remember exactly which console it was on, the Wii or the Wii U, but they had a Dynasty Warriors on that, and they were talking that up. I was like, Jesus Christ. It's just, a lot of these games nowadays, like Persona 5, I'm always honest with people. I've never fucking played Persona in my life. You could give me that game, I wouldn't play it. But I find it as a trip. You got some people talking that shit up because that's basically all they can talk up, that they can run with. The PS4, yes, the PS4 has Killzone, Infamous Second Son, and all them, but the newer games coming, besides Uncharted and Street Fighter, it's those games. And those are the games they have to talk up.
It's just like the people that said they didn't think any games on Vita were interesting, but then now they want to get a PS4 for Tearaway and Gravity Rush 1 and 2.
Now the Vita's popular too. I noticed that where the Vita was dead to a lot of people. Now they're wanting a Vita because the Vita, actually at the Tokyo Game Show, they announced a lot of Vita games.
there's always been a lot of Vita games. It's just when people say it has no games, just it has no games that you like. There's always been a bunch of Vita games.
Yeah, and a lot of those Vita games were what? Japanese RPGs. Now all of a sudden, because everybody likes them, now it's a reason to get one.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So
And the Vita's always
basically,
been selling well in Japan, though.
yeah, well, some people claim the Vita's, dead, but then it looked to me when I watched the Tokyo Game Show, this is the second one I've seen now, because I watched last year's one, and it looked like it was alive and well in fucking Tokyo, so, Um, so, Old Dirty, did everybody talk on this topic about YouTubers? And one thing I want to say, too, it's not just the people on the crumb side. You got people like Boogie2988 that isn't honest with a subscriber base. I don't think that guy's completely honest. And a lot of them, Angry Joe, I think a lot of these YouTubers, they have their own agenda and they put on another agenda. They're just trying to, please their subscriber base, and they'll be willing to lie and do whatever. They'll say that they have something that they don't, obviously, which we've seen. I'm not attacking Bear Hugger, but we've seen it. We have people that will obviously present to people that they're something that they're not, like with One Stop for Gamers.
Yeah.
It's just how it is, and they want to. And I think what their agenda is. I think it's either they want friends, they want a YouTube check, because a lot of people think this YouTube check is just amazing. Yes, it is amazing. If you're somebody like Boogie or Angry Joe, those guys are making really good money. Don't get me wrong. I looked at what they're making on Social Blade, but the dudes like us, we're not barely making like. Since I've been on YouTube and got partnered with Fullscreen, I got one $50 check finally, and it was a couple weeks ago from when I got partnered. Now, I got partnered around the whole Nate drama when that took place. That shows you how long it takes to get there, I mean, you got to at least be getting, I would say you have to have at least 1,000 views a video to even get a little bit of something. It's not a lot of money like these people are out to be, and if that's your goal, man, you really need to reevaluate yourself and look in the mirror. I mean, you really do. You could put a lot of time, if you're putting all this time into making negative news about a company, you could be doing that on, with a lot of other things and probably make something of yourself. Just saying. Anybody else on this topic?
I think on the topic also is just not, certain YouTubers, being, dishonest. I don't put the blame on them. I put the blame on the people that's actually listening, because some people want you to lie to them. Some people want to hear that. They want to hear that negativity. They want to hear you tell them to just love, Microsoft, or just, tell you that you only love, Sony. They want to hear it. And it's not all that guy's fault that's telling you this, because that person actually wants to hear it. They want it to be fed to them. You know what I'm saying? They want somebody to lie to them so they can feel good, or they can be like, yeah, I do hate Xbox. But why do you hate it? And they can't give you a legitimate reason. Because like when I went to go pick up my Xbox, well, no, I was picking up the PlayStation 4 first, because I didn't know which one I wanted first. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and get the PlayStation 4, and then a couple of months down the line, I get the Xbox One. Now, as I'm getting the PlayStation 4, the guy at the store, he was like, oh, man, you made a good choice. I was like, yeah, I got a couple of friends that got it, so I'm like, I'm going to go ahead and make the jump. I was like, I just didn't know which one I wanted first, this or the Xbox One. Oh, yeah, man, don't get the Xbox One. Nah, man, that shit is terrible. I'm like, really? Hell yeah. I'm like, why? I'm like, so you got one? So you can feed me the information, what's going on? You got one? Nah, I don't got one. Well, fuck you telling me don't get one then? It's like these people want to believe, what I'm saying, anything you tell them negative. If that's their primary console, Sony, they want somebody to feed them the information that Sony is the best, it's the strongest, it's the most powerful. So the games are going to look better because it's 1080p. That console over there, it's a little bit weaker, and it's 900p, and you can see a big difference. I'm telling you, dog, don't get that shit, because I had to trade my Xbox in to get a PlayStation, because them third-party games, they just did not look right. They didn't play right. Now, since I got the PlayStation 4, all the games that I hated on the Xbox One, I love on the PlayStation 4. This shit just stupid.
Yeah, you got people. Well, I think the Xbox One in a way's got the bad rap like the Wii U had. The Wii U had that, just that image that everybody just attacks it, and it had the same, the same rap. Basically, it's going not as bad. It's not as bad as the Wii U. The Wii U was doomed from the gate. It was, but the Wii U was actually a console where I have to honestly say it was not supported. The Xbox One is supported. Phil Spencer and the rest of them at the Xbox division is actually trying to make things right. They're doing everything that I think they possibly can. I think they could probably do more, but I think they're doing a good job. Wii U, on the other hand, Nintendo wasn't trying to fix that shit. It looked like they weren't advertising, they weren't doing nothing. I see Xbox commercials, I see Xbox, you guys don't want the Kinect, they fucking drop the Kinect. You don't want DRM, there's no DRM. They're doing everything they can. You want backwards compatibility? Here's your fucking backwards compatibility. Oh, you want to buy a new game? You get backwards compatibility with games. You get past games. They're doing a lot of shit. They're even redoing the dashboard, the interface. They're going to do that with Windows 10. They're doing a lot of stuff. They made new controllers. I mean, I don't know what else people would want, but I think the Xbox One's got a bad rap, just like the Wii U is, and I think it's going to hurt the console this whole generation. I don't think the Xbox One will do as bad as the Wii U did, but I see Sony pretty much, unless something really drastically changes, they're going to dominate a lot of this generation just because of, people thinking that console is the second coming of Christ, which it is a good console. I like the PS4, but I like my Xbox One too. A lot of people ask me, oh, Dave, review the Xbox One. I'm going to do a review, but the one thing that I couldn't do with the Xbox unless I don't know what I'm doing. With their upload studio, you can only do a 5-minute video. So I want to do a gameplay video with my review, and I can't do it. So I'll have to just do a regular video with me sitting there talking it, because it ain't gonna be a 5-minute review of me talking about the Xbox One and what I like and what I don't like. But that's one thing I dislike about the console. I wish they'd give you more time on the upload studio. But then you have areas where it really shines with the Xbox One, especially like Old Dirty addressed in the comments, in the beginning of the podcast or the mid part of the podcast, where the external hard drive, that you can use external hard drives on the Xbox One, which are a lot cheaper than internal, And that's a good part about the Xbox One, especially with the space this generation, Because I'll go get I can get like a 4 terabyte on the Xbox One for $129 and spend that same price for a 2 terabyte on the PS4 with the internal, And I can have a lot of space in my Xbox because 4 terabytes is real good. 2's good too, but that's, it's just more money with the internal until they have that patch whenever they're going to do that where you can use externals. But right now, the Xbox One beats it in that area, I think. And that's a really important thing this generation is fucking, hard drive space. But anybody else have anything else to add? I wanted to talk one more. I do want to talk about Metal Gear, but I think this podcast would go on forever then if we started talking about that. I just wanted to at least address that I did finish the game. I am going to be doing a review. I can't spoil it. I don't want to do anything. I really don't want to talk about it because Old Dirty's not finished yet. But so far, Old Dirty, where you're at, are you still enjoying Metal Gear, or?
It's like yes and no. I mean, I'm enjoying it, and then I just get tired of it. Like I told you, to me, this does not feel like a Metal Gear. It looks like Metal Gear, do some of the stuff but it's not the Metal Gear that I played, from PlayStation 3 to PlayStation 2 to PlayStation 1. This is something that, Konami, I don't know what they did, man. They just started making up missions and shit. Go find a fucking sheep and go find this wolf. What are you fucking finding animals for, man? We talking about people trying to destroy the human race, and you talking about go find a damn wolf.
I just want to throw this out here. I'm not trying to spoil anything, but One Piece fan and Dave, you guys probably know what I'm talking about. There's a side mission in the game, and it kind of it's like it's fucking with you. It's this isn't a spoiler because this is a side objective, but it's like you have to go find this legendary gunsmith. Find them, and it's not the real one. So then you gotta go find the other one, and it's not the real one again. You got to find the other one, and it's not the real one again. And I just started to notice, you like right now I beat the game, and now I just kind of play the side missions just to run around the map. And I'm like, damn, I gotta find. This is my 20th time finding a high class soldier, and this motherfucker ain't that high class. I done found random people that's higher class than this bastard. Like
now, now the legendary or the gunsmith. I did beat the game, but I can't remember. Is he ever found or?
Oh yeah.
Okay, because I can't quite remember. I remember I had to search for him a couple times. Like you said, you go to a part where they say, "Oh, this isn't him, but this guy's good too." But you still got to find him. And I can't remember if I ever found him. Because I didn't finish all the side missions. I finished the main mission. I did a lot of side missions, but I did the main story. And I finally beat the. I'm so glad that's over. But they do send you on a loop with that. And another weird mission. I think we've all played this mission. I didn't understand it. I didn't get it at first because I was looking. I went to that one area. I can't think of what they're called. The different places you stop. The command post. They have you one mission. Go look for a member of the Diamond Dogs that is a team member that disappeared. I guess maybe he went AWOL. It looks like he went AWOL and ran off. You run up on him on the road. He's actually up in the mountains running around like a crazy person. And when you get up to him, he comes up and he'll fucking hit you, and you have to hit the left stick and the square button to wake up because your eyes are shutting, and you're chasing him all around the map. And I will have that on my review. I'll be using that gameplay for that. And I just thought that was fucking, crazy. Like, did you see that part, Grimpachi?
Yeah, there's a lot of those. Basically, what those guys are, if you play Peace Walker, they're supposed to be soldiers. That were there during that time, and they got lost.
I went crazy?
Yeah, they got lost out in the world in the battle, and just because they've been out in the wilderness for so long, they kind of went a little insane.
Yeah, and they're running like when you run after him, he's running like really weird and fast, and I was like, oh, okay, and I thought it was gonna be a pain in the ass to finally get him. It took a couple tries, and then I finally got him, But I didn't know what the fuck they wanted me to do that mission. I thought maybe it was one of the. I didn't read it right at first, so I'm going to a command post, and I'm taking everybody out and sending them up, in parachutes and shit. And then I looked on the map, and I seen a little highlighted area, and it says that's possibly where he is. And when I seen him with my binoculars, and then you get up to him, he runs up you all crazy and knocks you out, and it's just kind of weird. And that whole bear mission, I know I talked about in other podcasts, but that was ridiculous. Go hunt the fucking legendary brown bear and go around the whole fucking map, where you just can't take the helicopter and go up a little area when you got a helicopter that could probably bring you there, but you go all the way around the map. And then just when you unload into that fucking bear and dying, I'll hit square and jump out of the way, and then finally I kept restarting the mission because I keep dying, and then finally I hit him 3 times with a dart off the rip, and he just walks back and falls asleep, and I'm like, what? So to me, the hit detection is kind of off. A lot of people were kind of praising it, saying that, oh, it's on point, but I've seen that with a lot of people's first impressions, but really it wasn't all that perfect on certain things. There's times in the game where you can, you aim for their head and you're going to get a headshot, but like certain animals like the bear, and you're unloading into that motherfucker, and it's not, and then I can go shoot 3 darts in him on another try, and he'll go down. I don't understand that. And it's the same thing, me and Grimpachi were talking before this podcast about a mission. There's a mission when, you're going against some tanks or something, and the tank can shoot through the fucking, it hit me through a wall. And I'm in front of the wall, and the wall's not blown down or nothing. So how'd the fucking bullet hit me, And it's just bullshit, But yeah, I do want to go more into it. Hopefully, if next week Old Dirty's got beat, we'll talk. We'll give our overall thoughts of Metal Gear. We'll go in deep about it, the game. But I just don't want to spoil it. By then, I think next week, I mean, I'll save it for towards the end of the podcast. If nobody hasn't played yet, don't want to get spoiled, it will be at the end of the podcast. Last thing we talk about, we're going to go and talk about Metal Gear, things we didn't like about the game, and go into like a full discussion. But, all right, that's the end of the podcast. I think One Piece Fanboy and Lavon left. I know we went on a while, but I just felt like talking. Thank you, Grumpachi, as always.
No problem.
And thank you, Old Dirty 33, the Old Dirty 33, as always.
No problem, Dave.
All right, till next time.